This is pretty consequential news. Let's go ahead and put this up on the screen. So Donald Trump in a new court filing, his team saying that he cannot secure a bond to cover that $454 million judgment. He was spurned, apparently, by 30 different companies as he sought that bond. Let me read you a little bit of this. They disclosed on Monday it failed to secure roughly $500 million bond in that civil fraud case in New York, raising the prospect that the state could seek to freeze some of his bank accounts and seize some of his marquee properties. That is now seriously on the table. The court filing coming 1 week before the bond is due suggests the former president might soon face a financial crisis unless an appeals court comes to his rescue. He is asking the appeals court to pause that $454 million judgment. Again, remember, this is from the civil fraud case about him inflating asset values to secure loans and things of that nature. Otherwise, the New York Attorney General's office, which brought the case, might soon move to collect from Mr. Trump. They go on to say, although the former president boasts of his billions, his net worth is derived largely from the value of his real estate, which bond companies rarely accept as collateral. Apparently, he has more than $350 million in cash, which is a lot of money, but it is short of the nearly $500 million that he would need in order to secure this bond. Still, even if the higher court rejects his appeal, he's not entirely out of options. He might appeal to the state's highest court, quickly sell an asset, or seek help from a wealthy supporter. So he was, Saagar, able to secure a nearly $100 million bond with regard to the E. Jean Carroll case. But there are two problems here. I mean, number one, these insurance companies just normally don't do bonds of this size,
right.
$500 million. And number two, as they point out, since most of his collateral would be in real estate, they usually don't use that as collateral. And so none of these companies, the 30 that they reportedly went to, were willing to take it. Letitia James, the Attorney General, who was, pushing this case, she has not commented yet about what she is going to do, but this is real. We're at the point now where she could actually, put liens on his accounts, where she could seize some of his iconic properties in New York in order to, obtain this amount of money while this appeals process plays out. So it is truly a wild scenario here.
Yeah, what they said is that he has not ruled out his corporate entities declaring bankruptcy, which would halt that judgment. But apparently in the 1990s, Trump did go bankrupt.
Right.
And is very weary of that entire experience.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can see his whole political brand
Right.
is the billionaire,
That's true.
wealthy, successful, always wins, et cetera. So having to declare bankruptcy doesn't really jive with that image that he's created over decades.
The other question is I mean, he's probably just gonna have to sell something. He's gonna have to do a fire sale, or he's gonna have to come up with some way in order to meet this, just because it's such a colossal amount of money, or to take out some incredibly onerous, high interest loan. But this is the reason we're covering it, everyone, is because this is personally a major, major threat. It also leads to the possibility that he would have to be able to tap campaign cash or raise some sort of fund from supporters and others in order to help bail him out of something like this. But even then, I mean, a colossal $500 million bond. I mean, that's more than I think Bill Clinton spent in the entire 1992 campaign, let alone for the billion or so that the Trump campaign and the associated people are going to have to drop in the general election that's going on right now. So this is a serious problem for him.
Yeah, and there are definitely legal limits on how much, political cash can be used. I don't believe it can be used at all to pay this, $454 million judgment. But he just did that big RNC shakeup, cleaned house, making sure he's got, full of loyalists there, a lot of fundraising consultants, I think, to make sure that they are able to pay whatever legal bills they are legally allowed to pay. And then we've also seen the way that the party apparatus has been used to funnel cash through his businesses, the hold events at his hotel, et cetera, et cetera. So I do think part of that house cleaning at the RNC is to make sure that in whatever ways they can possibly, color the law to help bolster his personal finances, they will be in position to do that. But it is an extraordinary moment. I mean, we'll have to see what direction the court takes. We'll have to see how aggressive Letitia James is in terms of going ahead and fire sailing assets, seizing assets, putting liens on his accounts. But there's no doubt that, listen, he's a very wealthy man. $500 million, though, was still a lot of money for literally anyone on the planet.
Yeah.
Anyone on the planet.
Multi-billionaires don't have access to that much cash.
Who's got $500 million just sitting around in cash? Yeah. I mean, literally.
You would actually be an idiot.
About no one, right?
Yeah,
Maybe some like drug lord or something like that who has to keep it in cash. But so this is. I know there's been a lot of in the past, liberal just he's not as rich as he says, et cetera, which he probably
rich.
Isn't as rich as he says, but he is a very wealthy man. This is enough money that is a genuine threat to his personal cash financial position. Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.